Mr. Secretary, would you say you have a good relationship with Foreign Minister Zarif?
Right now, I don't have a relationship with the foreign minister.
Well, when you had one, when you were negotiating, was it good or was it bad?
I would characterize it as professional.
Okay, professional. You still got a security clearance?
Do I?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay, so you're a smart guy, Navy lieutenant, senator for many decades, Secretary of State. You know that since 1979, Iran is responsible for killing more Americans than any other nation state, right? I suppose you know that.
I've heard that.
Yeah, of course. You went to Yale, so you're probably familiar with 50 U.S. Code 2204, 18 U.S. Code 2381. I suspect I'm not going to get into it. If you want me to, I will. But, Mr. Secretary, the foreign minister claimed that you had discussed more than 200 Israeli operations against Iranian-backed terrorists in Syria. Did you provide information to Mr. Zarif on Israeli operations against Iranian-backed terrorists during or following your tenure as Secretary of State?
On no occasion. Never.
Never. So Mr. Zarif is a liar.
Mr. Zarif may be confused or incorrect, or he's trying to embellish his. What I read about that article said that he was portraying himself as out of the loop and whatever, and quite emotional, apparently, is what I read. And I've seen him be quite emotional, and I can't vouch for why he did or what he said. I'm just telling you that didn't happen. End of story.
That never happened. And I know you're not under oath, but we've seen many administration officials come to this Congress and lie straight-faced to members of Congress. You're saying, for the record, that never occurred.
The first time I ever heard this number 200 was when I read the article a few days ago. I've never heard of that.
Well, that is heartening to hear, but I will tell you that there's reason for suspicion in this Congress and across America, and I just want to go through the record. In 1985, you as senator traveled to Nicaragua against the administration's wishes to meet with Marxist leader Daniel Ortega. In 2006, you traveled to Syria to meet with the dictator Bashar al-Assad, contradicting President Bush's efforts to isolate Assad for supporting Hezbollah. And I remind you that it's a sea of war and horrifying activities in Syria right now. I mean, if we could have done something with Assad then, maybe we wouldn't be dealing with what we're dealing with now. In 2018, you told the Palestinian Authority to hold on. The Palestinian Authority to hold on and be strong and play for time and do not yield to the president's demands. And finally, following your term as secretary, we know that you met with Mr. Zarif. I know that you said you had a professional relationship. Apparently it wasn't a good relationship, but it was professional enough that you met with him at least 3 times to discuss how to save the JCPOA, undermining President Trump's peace efforts. I remind you that as we speak, the Iranian proxy Hamas is raining down rockets across Israel right now. That's why people are right to be skeptical. That's why we ask this question. And so you say you're surprised and have no recollection of ever discussing these activities with Zarif regarding Israel and Syria. One more time, Mr. Secretary.
I didn't even know about this number, as I said, until we read the article the other day.
I'm not asking about the number.
No, I never had a discussion with him about Israel with respect to attacks or anything. No, I told you. That's the end of the story. But I wanted to say something about what you just said. I traveled to Nicaragua as a United States Senator with another United States Senator, an officially sanctioned United States Senate trip, in order to try to learn about what was happening with respect to the war in El Salvador. And you know, Ortega was one of many people we met with. We met with people like you do on any given trip as a member of the United States Congress. And we were handed a letter we brought back to the United States. We turned it over to President Reagan and to Vice President Bush. They had a big meeting about it because he was offering some kind of peace initiative. And That was the end of it. We didn't have any further involvement or engagement.
He's a brutal dictator and a communist.
You're damn right.
Yeah, that's
You're damn
exactly right. Should be supporting America.
The gentleman's time has expired.